Okay, so now we're going into Republicans are prudes. Now, how prudish are they? Well, they want to ban being naked in public, which you might ask, wait a minute, I thought that was banned. And I would have agreed with you, but there are things like nude beaches, and now there's this thing called a naked bike ride. So let's just get into the article. Wisconsin Republicans want to make it a crime to be naked in public for any reason and for a child to attend any event like a naked bike ride where people don't have clothes on. Yes, that is what naked means, that, people are, naked. So I don't know why you needed that second part of the sentence. I guess because some people don't know the difference between nude and naked, but still. Now, I don't know why they specifically, why they specify for children to attend events. Because just because you have a problem with seeing people naked doesn't mean everybody does. I mean, I wonder if any of these people have heard of Europe, let alone have actually gone to Europe. These people do not see nakedness as inherently sexual. So you will see a plenty of nudity. And it's just another thing. They're not freaked out about it because they don't see it inherently as sexual. So yeah, these guys would have total coronaries if they went over to Europe. And as far as that goes, how young are we talking about children? Because, you get them very young and there's literally no reason why there should be a problem because they do not see the world sexually. And if you look at a 4-year-old, let's say, and think sexual thoughts, that is your issue, not the child's. So, a state Senate committee held a hearing Thursday on 2 bills introduced after a photograph circulated earlier this year of a child who attended Madison's annual naked bike ride. Okay, one question. There were plenty of people attending the naked bike ride. It's not like this is a sparsely attended event. Why just take a picture of a child? Unless your intention was to either as a child porn thing or because you want to cause trouble. Because my understanding is this has been going on, this was the 13th year. So nobody had a problem with it until this. The picture outraged some Republican lawmakers, including U.S. Representative Tom Tiffany, who questioned Attorney General Merrick Garland at a congressional hearing last month about what he was going to do about it. Tell Tom Tiffany to take a chill pill and not see naked bodies as a bad thing. We can start with that. I mean, fine, you don't want to see it? Don't seek it out. It's really that simple. It's kind of a joke, but it's not a joke. The bill's lead sponsor, Republican Senate President Chris Kapenga, testified Thursday. This is pretty serious, especially in today's society. Why? What is it about today's society that makes this serious? I mean, okay, we were born naked. I failed to see the problem. The World Naked Bike Ride has been happening in cities across the world for more than 20 years. The events are meant to encourage body positivity and to promote cycling as a form of transportation that lessens the dependence on petroleum, which I think those are two great reasons to have the bike ride. Granted, I've never learned how to ride a bike, not interested. I don't think I have the balance required to ride a bike. But I think that's a great idea. And body positivity? Absolutely. I mean, why not? We're just bombarded with people telling us that we have to look a certain way or that we should be a certain size. And that depresses people. So why not tell people that even if you're trying to, say, lose weight or get into better shape or whatever, you don't have to be depressed that you aren't at that end goal. Because it's a journey, everyone has to go through it, and for some it's more painful than others. And for some it's easier than others. So, yeah, I failed to see the problem with this. The ride marked its 13th year in Madison this summer. About 150 bikers took part this year, riding past the state capitol twice on a Saturday morning where thousands of people, including children, were attending the popular farmers market. Now, I couldn't find, because this is after the fact, I couldn't find things like a route or any promotion of the event. So I don't know if it's simply because it's way after the fact or they don't promote it. But if you know this is coming, again, what's the problem? A photo from the Madison event posted on Facebook showed that a girl under age 18 participated. Okay, we don't know how much under 18, but alright. The photo showed the girl, who appeared to be nude except for shoes and a helmet, facing away from the camera. Yes, you would expect someone who's participating in a naked bike ride to be naked. That, again, that's kind of the point. Acting on complaints, the Dane County District Attorney determined that the girl's participation did not violate any state laws. What state laws would she have violated? Madison police determined that state law on the possession of child pornography also did not apply because the photo was not sexual in nature. Okay, that would be about the douche nozzle who took a picture specifically of her. So unless it was a parent who, hey, look what my kid's doing, take a picture. Unless it was something like that, that shouldn't even be on anyone's radar. It also said that current state laws relating to exposing a child to harmful material or narrations did not apply. Again, how is a naked body harmful? I mean, inherently harmful. Obviously, what you do with that naked body, that's an entirely different story. But they're riding bikes. Nobody is being sexually exploited. What do you think is happening here? One proposal heard Thursday would make it a misdemeanor to be naked in public for any reason. My God. Which, like I said, I didn't even realize that naked bike rides were a thing, so. Under current law, being naked is only a crime if the public exposure is indecent. Which makes sense. Because, again, some people do not know the difference between nude and naked. So this proposal could get really stupid really quick. Well, it's already, just bringing it up is stupid, but it could get really, really ridiculous. The other measure would make it a crime to allow anyone under 18 to see a nude person who is part of an event, like a naked bike ride. See, here we are conflating nude and naked, not the same thing, where adult participants are intentionally not wearing clothes. Because again, that's the definition of naked. It would also make it a crime to take a picture of a child who is part of the event not wearing clothes, unless the picture is being taken in order to report it to police. Which I get the feeling that this was the intent of the person taking the picture. Because, again, I mean, I guess it could be a parent doing it just to say, hey, look, but she was facing away. So I'm going to say that it wasn't that. Somebody took a picture of her because they wanted to cause a stink because, oh my God, a child is, parading naked in front of everyone. Oh my God, because obviously that makes her sexual or something. I do not know why they took a picture of just the child. Because if it kind of is screaming, we shouldn't allow people to take pictures, naked pictures of children in a setting like this, because I can't be trusted not to take a picture of children. It's just so projecting and so stupid. Violators under both could face up to 9 months in jail and a $10,000 fine. Because naked bodies are so scary. If you agree that people shouldn't be allowed to expose their genitals in public and that minor children shouldn't be paraded naked through streets and photographed, then I encourage you to support on these. I encourage your support on these bills. Kapanga testified. Okay. Expose their genitals. There is a very big difference between a flasher who finds unsuspecting victims and exposes themselves, and a naked bike ride. Yes, technically your genitals are showing in both cases, but in one case, the point is not to show off your genitals. The point is to show that there's nothing wrong with your body, there's nothing wrong with being naked. You're beautiful regardless. And obviously the point of a flasher is to force the unwitting people to see their genitals, because they're not being hidden in something like a bicycle seat. Because let's face it, they're on a bicycle. Their genitals are not exactly blowing in the wind here. I do not understand what the problem is. And minor children shouldn't be paraded naked through the streets. They're not being paraded. They're riding a bike. They just happen to be naked. That's not parading. It's not like someone stripped the kid naked against their will and forced them down Main Street. That is not what's happening here. Again, intent has everything to do with this. Consent has everything to do with this. They are consenting to this. They know what they are doing. I know that the trend is to treat children like, because they cannot consent to sexual activity with adults, that must mean that they can't consent to anything because they're too stupid to do anything. Which is not what is being said here. I mean, they have agency over their bodies. I know that this is hard for adults to understand, but they have agency over their bodies, and if this is what they want to do, then this is what they want to do. This isn't like a girl sending her boyfriend topless photos only to end up it being splattered everywhere. Because again, that wasn't her intent. If a child is doing a naked bike ride, they know that this is going to gain publicity. They are not stupid. Democratic Senator LaToya Johnson raised concerns about the bill potentially making it illegal to bring children to concerts or stage events where performers are partially nude. She said it would lead to some performers not coming to Wisconsin. Topanga dismissed those concerns, saying performers like Beyonce, why was Beyonce singled out, and her dancers could afford to purchase 100 strips of cloth to cover their butt crack. My God, you are so disgusting. I'm sorry, have you seen Beyonce perform? When have you seen her butt crack? My God. I highly doubt that Beyonce would not come because she can't expose her crack, he said. Or maybe she will because she doesn't know how far your prudish Puritan law would go. Because, I mean, she's not exactly wearing a burqa. I don't think he understands the concept of a slippery slope. The bills, which have no Democratic sponsors, there's a shock, are a long way from becoming law, thank God. They would have to pass both the state Senate and Assembly, which are controlled by Republicans, which, that sucks, and then be signed into law by Democratic Governor Tony Evers, which he's most likely going to veto it because, he knows better. Well, he's an old principal, so I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't. But he's been in Madison long enough to have witnessed these naked bike rides, and I'm pretty sure that, like I said, this is the first time I've heard of anyone having an absolute breakdown that these bike rides are a thing. Evers' spokesperson Britt Kudabak said the governor had not reviewed the bills. Jeff Wigand, a Dane County Board supervisor who complained to police about the naked bike ride, testified in favor of the proposals Thursday. Proponents of this bike ride have stated that they believe that this is about their freedom to protest, Wigand testified. I would ask them, what about my freedom? What about my freedom to walk down the street and not be assaulted by nudity? What about my children's innocence that I work very hard to protect? Okay. Again, this has been going on for a while. And I assume it's around the same weekend, and that they probably publicize this, including the route, in this case, the Capitol Square. So you can avoid this. You can make sure your children avoid this. So, again, no, because we have curbs on freedoms. Like, if the road is closed for construction or for a parade, nobody says, well, you're violating my freedom to go on this road. Nobody says that. So just pay attention to when it's happening, where it's going to take place, and avoid it. It's really, really that simple. And as for your children's innocence that you work very hard to protect, I'm pretty sure depending on how old they are, they've seen porn by now. Come on. That's the thing that people use the internet for mostly, is porn. There's that. And before then, there were things like Playboy and Penthouse where you could see naked women. Sometimes on the front cover. So, exactly how are you protecting their innocence? Not letting them out in public ever? Because I'm pretty sure they've seen things either in your presence or most likely when they're in school that you probably would freak out about, simply because life happens. I mean, I do not know how old these children are, but just life in general is going to shatter your idea of their innocence. And how is seeing a naked body shattering their innocence? They're not watching people having sex. They're watching people riding a bike. They just happen to be naked. There is nothing wrong with a naked body. People are prudes, like I said. Participants have been sighted at naked bike rides in Madison and around the country. Oh, okay. At the first ride in Madison 2010, Madison police issued 10 citations for disorderly conduct. Okay, again, nothing to do with the fact that people are naked, unless it's the people who observed the naked bike ride who are receiving the citations, in which case it has something to do with the naked bike ride, but not the participants. A year later, Madison City Council amended the Public Indecency Ordinance to allow for nudity as a legitimate form of political protest. So that is the end of that article. So like I said, Republicans are serious prudes. I mean, like I said, if you don't want to go to watch a naked bike ride, I'm pretty sure that it's very well advertised and the route is advertised. So if you don't want to see it, you do not have to. It is not up to other people to cover up because you decided that you're going to ignore that there's an event going on. I mean, there are certain events that people do not want to come into contact with. That's why they're advertised. Why parade routes are advertised. First off, it's to make sure that people know where to avoid with their cars, but if you don't want to deal with that, you can stay home. You can make plans that either to stay home, go where you need to go if it goes to that parade route. On other days, you can, but yeah, you can plan around the road closures, or just simply that there's, I don't know, a marathon going on that you don't want to deal with the marathon runners. You can avoid that area, or choose a different day to go in that area. I mean, that's why these are publicized. I do not know why this is a big deal. And actually, no, I do. It's because a child was involved. Like I said, yes, there were citations involved, but I'm sure that those citations were people who have nothing better to do than to freak out over another person's naked body. They're not doing anything to hurt you. So you should not be bugging them. Well, anyway, that's all I have for this article, and I will see you guys in the next one.